Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's wonderful to have you here tonight. It's trying to be spring. It's trying so hard. It's trying so hard that on Sunday it's going to be 22 degrees and blowing snow. But I know it's trying. So we're going to use our music, we're going to use our spirit, we're going to use our enthusiasm for a bat mitzvah this weekend, Louise, to create the warmth that we always wanted to have in our Shabbat service. So if you find your prayer book and turn to page 10, you'll find a beautiful song called Hine Matov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yacha, but it's not the version that most of us grew up with. This is from a wonderful singer named Rick Recht, and it's very singable. So we'll do it a couple times so people can join it. Page 10 at the top. It goes like this. Hine Matov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Matov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Try that again. Hine Matov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Matov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Matov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Matov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Here's that beginning part again. Hine Matov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Matov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Here's the middle part again. Hine Matov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Matov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Let's sing together. Hine Matov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Matov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Will you please turn in your books to pages 2 and 3 for the Seder Hadlakat HaNer, for lighting candles for Shabbat, to be followed by Kiddush, the sanctification of wine. Louise, bring your family up. It's our custom, as you are able to, please rise as we welcome Shabbat with candles and Kiddush.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Please turn the page to page 4. The introduction is from Genesis chapter 2, verses 1 to 3. Vayi erev vayi voker yom hashishi. There was evening and morning, the sixth day. The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Borei Puri Hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon chinhilanu, zikaron l'maaseh b'reishit, ki u yom tehillah l'migrei kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim, ki vanu v'charta, Veltanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodecha be'aha uvrutzon chincheltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
Amen.
Amen. It's
Amen.
just juice. Give some to your folks. Everybody please find your seats. Come on down, guys. There you go. Come on down. Hugging the rabbi. It's really important. There you go. Yishkoch. Here. Thank you. Love that stole. Come on, go. There you go. Oh, and we're high-fiving too. Okay. There we go. Mazel time. Thank you, John. If you find page 8 going from right to left, you'll find a prayer that is meant to give us a sense of why we're here. We're here not only to offer praise, but to offer gratitude. And so we read together on page 8. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life.
God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services. But I need them.
Through
prayer I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created, and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us, and to bring that vision to life.
Look at the bottom of the facing page on the left. We offer thanks to God for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope. Together, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living. For Shabbat
peace, born of friendship and love. Offer thanks and blessing, O God.
What have we got? 3. Please turn the page. Oh, excuse me, 2 more pages.
Page
The beginning
12?
of the Kabbalat Shabbat Psalms is page 12. Lechuna Ranana.
Lechune ranena, lechune ranena, lechune ranena, l'Adonai. Lechune ranena, lechune ranena, lechune ranena, l'Adonai. Naria, naria, letzur yishenu, nekarana v'todah. Naria, naria, letzur yishenu, v'zbirav naria lo. Lechune ranena, lechune ranena, lechune ranena, l'Adonai. Lechune ranena, lechune ranena, lechune ranena, l'Adonai. Once more. Lechune ranena, lechune ranena, lechune ranena, l'Adonai. Lechune ranena, lechune ranena, lechune ranena, l'Adonai.
Turn ahead to page 20. On page 20, you will find Lecha Dodi, the beautiful song that welcomes Shabbat as a bride. This has a repetitive refrain. We've done it a couple times, but not every week. So this may be brand new for some. That's why we'll do it twice through before we do the verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. It goes like this.
Yailalai lecha dodi, Yailalai likrat kala, Yailalai b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekra.
Try it again.
Yailalai lecha lecha dodi, laila lai likrat kala, laila lai b'nei Shabbat nekala. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad yishmianu el ameyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shemo tiferet v'nitma. Laila lai lecha dodi, laila lai likrat kala, laila lai b'nei Shabbat. B'nei Shabbat nekabela, likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelchaki mekor haberacha, merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila. Laila lai lecha dodi, laila lai likrat kala, laila lai b'nei Shabbat. B'nei Shabbat nekabela, hitoreri, ki va'orech u'ori, uri, shir daberi kevod Adonai, alayich nivra.
Laila lai lecha dodi. Please rise and face the rear for the last verse as you are able. Verse 9.
B'nei Shabbat, B'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Verse 9.
Boi v'shalom ateret balagam b'simcha u'b'tzola to'ech emunei am segula.
Bow to the left.
Boi chala,
Right.
boi chala.
Right just came in.
Laila lai lecha dodi, laila lai likrat kala, laila lai b'nei Shabbat.
B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Last time. Laila lai lecha dodi, laila lai likrat kala, laila lai
b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Please turn the page and you'll find the Psalm for the Sabbath day. It's our custom to read in English all the way to the indent. At the indent, we go to the Hebrew indent called Tzadik Katamar, but we begin together in English. A psalm.
A song for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night. With a 10-stringed harp, with voice and lyre together. You have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout for joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai. How very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know. A fool cannot understand this.
Now you have to get your hands in the clap-ready position. Follow Rabbi Gorban. It goes like this. Tzadik katamar yifrach, yifrach, tzadik katamar yifrach. Tzadik katamar yifrach, yifrach, tzadik katamar yifrach. Ge'erez balvanon yizkeh, ge'erez balvanon yizkeh, ge'erez balvanon yizkeh. Ge'erez balvanon yizkeh, ge'erez balvanon yizkeh, ge'erez balvanon yizkeh. Okay, we won't catch you by surprise this time. Here we go. Tzadik katamar yifrach, yifrach, tzadik katamar yifrach. Tzadik katamar yifrach, yifrach, tzadik katamar yifrach. Ge'erez balvanon yizkeh, ge'erez balvanon yizkeh, ge'erez balvanon yizkeh. Ge'erez balvanon yizkeh, ge'erez balvanon yizkeh, ge'erez balvanon yizkeh. These introductory prayers called Kabbalat Shabbat, we end with Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem is the beautiful prayer which asks God to send the angels to accompany us into the sacred moment that we're enjoying together.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashoret, Malachei Hashoret, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Amlachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu, Akadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon.
Mi melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu,
HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Barchuni.
Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei HaShalom.
Anytime you want. Sweetheart, come on up. Anytime you want. Mi melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh. Last verse, Seitchem. Seitchem l'shalom, Malachei Elyon.
Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon.
Mi melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As you are able, please rise for the Chatzi Kaddish that ends this part of our service, leading into the Baruch Hu, the call to worship.
Yitgadal v'yikadash merabah.
Amen.
V'yalemad ivrachirutei v'yamelich malchutei. B'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayir v'chol Beit Yisrael. Bagala, uvizman kariv yimeru. Amen. Yesh merabah mevorach. Le'olam le'al maya. Yitbarach v'yishabach v'yidbar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shem Melech U'Resha
B'richu
li'ela min kol barchata v'shirata
Tushbechata
v'nechemata Damira mi'alma v'imeru Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
At the top of page 31, we join together. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Page 32.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shokbenu, u'kumenu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nisman divrei Toratecha, u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu, liorech yameinu, uvahem negeyomam v'layla, negeyomam לעולם ולילה. באהבה אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. השם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
Please be seated. Page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
On the facing page, we join together. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act.
Keep in mind the words I command you today.
Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God.
Adonai Elohechem.
Page 39, we offer responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
So this Micha Mocha, we're going to do the way we do it in the school, which is as a round. We'll try it together first, and then we'll divide you up, and we'll see who's got more enthusiasm, right? 1, 2, ready, and Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nehedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilo, Oseh Oseh. Just this side. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nehedar b'kodesh.
We've got more room, right? If you turn the page, I believe it's let's do the V'ne'emar.
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגואלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Amen. Now if you turn the page, we're on page 42. We have a prayer for peace and protection through the night.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim Spread the shelter of your wings over us. Guide us with wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim Save us for the sake of your name.
Shield us from hatred.
Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim
Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Please turn to page 44 as Louise leads us in Vishamru.
Okay. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam Be'inu vein b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam Uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam.
Please, we are so excited that you are becoming a bat mitzvah, and so we not only want to celebrate your leadership in our services in our larger community, but also invite you to be a leader in the Pittsburgh area Reformed Temple Youth, our youth group, which is called Party! So here is a t-shirt that you can wear at every single party event or not, as you choose. But we hope that you join as many party events as you can. You're going to have to miss, I think, the one that's tomorrow, which is a progressive dinner party at all of the different synagogues in Pittsburgh. But there are plenty of other events, and I hope you join us at them. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
And you can wear it like that or put it over your head, whatever you'd like. We're liberals. Anyway, wonderful. And by the way, what a beautiful voice. And come up and lead services with us anytime you want, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah.
We continue on page 46 in our prayer books with Adonai Svatai Tiftach, asking God to open our mouths in prayer and praise. Please rise as you are able.
Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Agi Tehilatecha. Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Agi Tehilatecha. Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Agi Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora El Elyon Komel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imot U'Mevi Geula Livnei B'neihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד השם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים כל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We continue at the top of page 55. We join together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. We ask God to accept our prayers and be there with us in our prayers in the middle of page 57. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. And in the middle of page 59, we offer a prayer of gratitude using the words of Psalm 8. When we behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set in place, what are we humans that you are mindful of us? We mortals that you take note of us. You made us little less than divine, adorned us with glory and majesty. You gave us dominion over your handiwork, laying the world at our feet. How majestic is your name throughout the earth. Baruch atah Adonai, atov shimcha u'lecha na'eh lehodot. Continue with a prayer for peace, page 60.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tazim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tazim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tazim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tazim Leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol et u'b'chol shah b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tazim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tazim Leolam. Tazim Leolam. Tazim Leolam.
Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Take a moment now to offer the prayers of our hearts.
Shalom b'imromav u'yaseh shalom aleinu. ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל.
We never let an opportunity go by when we gather in prayer to offer prayers for those who are not even well enough to be with us tonight. And on page 253 is a Mishaberach prayer, a healing prayer in Hebrew and in English. And what we do is we look at our members of our congregation. And you may have a name that's important to you, you want to add to our collective heart. Somebody who's suffering from a physical malady or maybe an emotional challenge, or maybe is just simply lonely and desperate for someone to talk to them or be with them. As I look to the congregation, please feel free to say a name out loud and add it to our collective heart as we prepare for Mishaberach. If you want, you can sing along, you can sing Amen, you can simply sing the words in your heart, because the prayers that we offer for healing are not just for them, but they're to guide us to be present, to be whole for those who are broken. Just call them out. Leah Bat Chaya. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
So in the summer between my 4th and 5th years of rabbinical school, this was the summer of 2011, I had the opportunity to go to Germany as part of a trip through an organization called Germany Close Up. Has anyone ever heard of them? Those of you who are in your 20s and 30s should definitely check it out because it's a highly subsidized trip for American Jews to go to Germany and explore and learn, and we actually have a program that comes right out of Pittsburgh. Just so you know, that was a total aside, but I'm happy to give you more information. But I went on this trip called Germany Close Up, and it was actually part of a class, which means that the program actually worked with a professor at Hebrew Union College who's teaching out in LA, and we did some learning in advance of the trip, learning during the trip, as everyone does, and then some post-trip follow-ups. The trip was so cool. We spent 10 days in Germany, about 7 of them exploring Berlin. We also got to spend an afternoon with theology students at one of the universities in Berlin. We got to go to the historic Jewish communities in the Rhineland. So these are towns like Mainz and Speyer. We got to go to Rashi's synagogue, where someone decided to sit in Rashi's chair, which is apparently a big no-no. And we got to spend a couple days in Leipzig to get to see what things in East Germany were like. The other thing that was really cool was we got to go to Heidelberg, which is where I'm going to totally mess this up, the Hochschule de something Wissenschaftsjudentum, which is the university or the place of higher learning for the science of the study of Judaism, which, though it doesn't sound like it, was actually the first Reform rabbinic seminary in the entire world. It was founded by one of the founders of the Reform movement, Abraham Geiger. So that was really exciting, and we got to see some really old books, like some of the first edition printed Talmuds. And while all that was happening, I was going through one of the worst times in my life. And so it was a great trip, except that I was just newly separated and planning on filing for divorce once I got back from Germany. I had a horrendous cold so badly that I could not breathe. There's magical medicine in Germany, by the way. And I was supposed to be taking a class and doing coursework and thinking intellectually about all of these readings about the German Jewish community and how it developed and what was happening in the Holocaust and how the Holocaust Museum in Germany reflects different things. And I was not even remotely in the space where I could think about that. Not even remotely. And it was a trip of rabbis, or rabbinic students, cantorial students, education students. You know, we're supposed to also be connecting Jewishly and spiritually during this trip, not just intellectually. Things only got worse when I left Germany because, you know, I was already in Germany. I figured I should go to Israel, visit my family, visit some friends. So when I got to Israel, I was like, okay, this is my space where I know I am going to be able to connect to God. I am going to find that deep spiritual connection that I've been missing while all of this stuff is going on. So I went to all of my favorite places. The Tayelet, which is this gorgeous vista of the entire city of Jerusalem, especially of the old city. Nothing. I went to this little tiny, it's like the secret garden in the middle of the HUC campus in Jerusalem. where I was really going for something until some women came out to smoke and chat, and that definitely did not help. I tried walking the streets of Jerusalem because there's a tradition that if your body is occupied, then your mind can open. Nothing. Finally, I went to one of my professors, ironically, the one who was probably the least spiritually connected of all of my professors. He's the one we didn't even know was a rabbi until someone somehow figured it out because he refused to tell anybody that he was a rabbi. Go figure. I was like, I don't know what to do. Here I am, I'm trying all of these different things to feel this connection to God that I normally feel when I'm in services or out in nature or walking in beautiful places, and I'm not finding anything. Let me tell you, there was a lot more blubbering and crying in there than what I just did, but that was the gist of it. What's going on? This professor basically said, it's not always going to happen. And right now, it's not happening for you. Which is like the least satisfying answer you can get. But I'm reminded of this experience, and I'll get back to a little bit more of what he was saying in a little bit, but I was reminded of this experience because of this week's Parsha. So this week's Parsha is Shmini, and it tells the story of both the most amazing encounter with God that the Israelites themselves have enacted, have called sort of into being, and the most disconnecting experience that they have. So first what happens is that we've got the tabernacle that has just been built. It's been 7 days of the priests, that's Aaron and his 4 sons, going through a purification process. And then on the 8th day, Yom HaShmini, the 8th day, they finally get to bring forth offerings, the first offerings that they are bringing forth for the Israelite community. And this giant fire from God comes down, consumes the offerings. Aaron blesses all of the people, and all of the people fall on their faces. That means they bow low because they are in such awe. They've had a vision of God coming into their community. How amazing is that? That anytime they do something like this, when they are bringing offerings, that God is going to accept them and going to be present with them in their community. And then the next thing that happens is that Aaron's 2 oldest sons, Nadav and Avihu, decide to bring forth fire that God had not asked of them. They put some coals or some fire in their fire pans, go forth. It's not entirely sure exactly where they're going, but they go close to God, and the fire comes down from God again, only instead of going on the fire pans, it zaps them. And they die. Everyone is in shock. And then Moses says what is quite probably the most ridiculous thing ever. This is what God meant when God said, I will become sanctified by those who come close to me, and by those who come near, I will be made, my name will be glorified. What? Right, I see you shaking your head. That's because no one has any clue what this means. The language is actually really complicated, even in the Hebrew. And then the rabbis commenting on it all have different opinions. And then there's Aaron's reaction, which I know Rabbi Gibson really wanted me to talk about, but I'm just going to mention it because Aaron is silent. He's completely silent, because those were really useless words. But as we've been studying this in our Saturday morning Torah study, and we've been on these 3-4 verses for the past 3-4 weeks, I came across a commentary by Rashbam. So Rashbam was Rashi's grandson. So remember, I was in Germany at Rashi's synagogue. This is now his grandson. Said that actually what Moses was trying to say was, Aaron, I know that this horrible thing just happened, and you are not even sure how to process it. And right now you are in a position of leadership and need to just keep going through the motions. Those are hard words to hear. Also, super important. Aaron was going through what was probably the worst time in his life. His 2 sons had just died after this amazing experience, and he didn't know what to do. He was just stuck. And what he might have wanted to do was just to throw his hands up and go off in a corner and do nothing. And instead, he had Moses standing by his side and reminding him to just keep putting one foot in front of the other, going through the motions, even though it didn't feel like anything was happening that was good, and that eventually he would get out of that space. And that, I think, was actually what my professor was trying to tell me, although I may not have realized it until right this moment, that he was saying, I know that you're not feeling anything when you're praying right now. And sometimes you won't. But keep going through the motions, because at some point, when you're least expecting it, something will click again. And for each of us, we go through times in our lives where we don't feel like doing that next thing, where we feel like what is ahead or what has just happened has just put a stop to everything that is right. And yet, one of the things that actually will help us move through that is to just go through those motions. To remember that this moment is just a moment, and that at some point down the road, when we're not expecting it, we will find a way to move through and to make a connection with God. Shabbat Shalom.
Just a few things to go over before our final prayers. We want to thank our greeters. I don't know if I saw Rick Kelson and Arlene Smith. Who else was greeting tonight? Anybody? Well, you all made it to your seats, so that we are truly independent, which is wonderful. The Oneg is sponsored by John Landis and Kendra Coyle in honor of the bat mitzvah of Louise. Louise, say hi again. Hello. And you get to see her, and you get to say, boy, what a wonderful voice you have, and I can't wait till tomorrow. So tomorrow at 8:30 is Torah study with Rabbi Gorban. 9:15 is Minyan upstairs in the chapel. 10:30, Louise's bat mitzvah. We are so excited that you are going to be leading our prayers, and I'm going to be reading Torah with you, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Our cantorial program is underwritten by an ongoing generous grant from Edgar Snyder, and we are so grateful for his ongoing support for wonderful Jewish music at Temple Sinai. Tomorrow night is the Great Temple Sinai Bake-Off. It's from 6 to 9, and while that's going on, the area called Nifty Par is going to be having their progressive Havdalah dinner thing, that they're going to be going to all different kinds of settings, congregations, to enjoy each other's company and enjoy food. I hope they're going to have food.
Yeah, so every synagogue is hosting a part of the meal and some sort of activity. So wonderful. It starts here at 3, I think, with appetizers and mixers before going on to the other congregations. You can still sign up if you're within that age range.
Unless you're Louise. You can't go tomorrow, okay?
I mean, you could go, but then you'd miss your party.
Right. So on Sunday, there's the Shalom Hartman seminar at 9:15 in the morning, the Beret Sheet seminar at 11 o'clock, the Next Door religious instruction program at 9:30. There's a lay-led Passover study session at 9:30, and many people have been asking, what are we doing about security issues at Temple Sinai now that it's 5 months since the shooting at Tree of Life? Brad Orsini, who is in charge of security for all Jewish institutions in Pittsburgh, will be speaking at 9:45 in the morning. There is still time to come to that, and I know there's a lot of interest in what is actually being done. Next Friday's Tot Shabbat. We're going to have it early because Passover is going to change our schedule for this coming month. There are snacks and shmooze at 5 o'clock, and the Tot Shabbat service is at 5:30. The Tot Shabbat dinner for Tot families is at 6, and Mostly Musical Shabbat is at 7. And we have our matzah brittle is almost all made for the year, and I see Hart and Wolf back there. The Passover wine, when's the cutoff for ordering Passover wine? Sunday night, so you'll have a chance to get that in. And right after the service, again, we'll go into the Falk Auditorium and get to greet Louise and each other and say Shabbat Shalom. If you'll find your prayer books once again, turn to page 282. In the middle of the page, you'll find Aleinu, the version that we use, and I'll ask you to rise as you are able. 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר ויהיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
Before Mourner's Kaddish, it's our tradition here to read the names of those who died at this season in years past and those who died more recently. If you're here to say Kaddish for somebody in your family that was close to you, as the name for the person for whom you're saying Kaddish is read, we'll ask you to rise and stand in place. At the very end, we will stand with our mourner so that no mourner ever needs to stand alone. This week we commemorate the yahrzeits of Shirley Alexander, Charles Baker, Charissa Bart, Ben Cohen, and Libby S. Cohen, Sidney Cookson, Harry Fellheimer, and Betty D. Fink, Rose Frank, Laura Garfinkel, and Robert Gelman, Sam Goldman, Abe Goldstein and Philip Goldstein, Norman Golan, Leonard Henry, Erwin Holtzman, Ursula Infeld, Colin James, Frida Katz and Rochelle Katz, Bernard Kelsky and Charles Kirshner, Barney Kotler and Gilbert Levine, Herb Levitt and Fred Levitt, Etta Lutzker and Joseph Magdovitz, Charles Molenberg, Dov Nicholsberger and Monty Ritblatt, Alan Rosen, Phyllis Rosenthal, Max Roth, Sandra Rubinson, Alice Rubin, Ira Sadowski, and Pearl Baskin Sadowski, Janice Schachter, Byron Bernard Schiller, Ben Schillmeister, Matilda Seltman, Herschel Siegel, Abraham Smith, Dorothy Solomon, Sylvia Harton Wolf, and Myrna Wolk. And now we remember those whose recent deaths we still mourn: Bernie Weiss, Stuart Bleckman, and Raymond Gross. We also note with sadness the passing of Dr. Sidney Busis, a giant in both the medical and Jewish communities, and we mourn with Sylvia and the rest of his family. The rest of us turn in our books to 294. We rise for the mourner's Kaddish and accompany our mourners as they say their Kaddish for their beloved dead. Yitgadal, Yitgadash, Shemei Rabbah,
Amen.
Bialma, Divra, Hirute, Viamlich Malchute, B'chayechon, V'yomechon, V'chaye Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uvizman kari v'yimru.
Amen.
Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'olam Olamei Maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitrumam v'yitnaseh. Yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shmei Dekudesha.
Richu.
Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Damiran bi'alma v'yimru.
Amen.
Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shemaya. v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru.
Amen.
May the source of peace in the high heavens cause peace to descend on all of us, all Israel, upon our shattered world desperately in need of our healing, upon all of us who mourn our beloved dead. As together we say,
Amen.
Our final song tonight is on page 327. It's a version of Ein Keloheinu that we particularly love because it includes not only Hebrew, it includes Ladino, which is Judeo-Spanish. It's the only time that we Jews ever get to sing Salvador and mean it. So it goes like this. It comes from Flori Jagoda and the Bosnian Sephardic tradition. It goes like this. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kemoshienu, non como nuestro Dios, non como nuestro Señor, non como nuestro Rey, non como nuestro Salvador. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, if you know Spanish, this is easy.
Quien como nuestro Dios, quien como nuestro Señor, quien como nuestro Rey, quien como nuestro Salvador.
No del Eloheinu.
No del Eloheinu, no del Adonenu, no del Emakenu, no del Moshienu. Lord es nuestro Dios, Lord es nuestro Señor, Lord es nuestro Rey, Lord es nuestro Salvador. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Makenu, Baruch Moshienu. Bendito nuestro Dios, bendito nuestro Señor. Bendito nuestro Rey, bendito nuestro Salvador. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Makenu, Atahu Moshienu. Tú sos nuestro Dios, tú sos nuestro Señor, tú sos nuestro Rey, tú sos nuestro Salvador.
Bruchim atem v'voachem, v'ruchim atem b'tzeidchem me'atav ve'ad olam. Blessed are you as you come into this space, and blessed are you as you go on your way. And as you go on your way, I hope you find ways to connect with God, and if not, to just keep moving that one step forward until you do. As together we say,
Amen.
Amen. We're going to say a blessing over cookies, okay? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei mizonot. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who makes all sorts of yummy foods. As together we say, Amen.
Shabbat shalom.